The I.A.M movement presents I Am Her Story, featuring Miss Zoe Williams, youth leader and ambassador for the I.A.M movement. This is part 1 of her 3-part story. Let's get right into it.
I am Zoe, and this is my story.
Tell me about your childhood.
I was loved as a child, for a fact, by my mom, by my grandma, by my aunt, by my cousins, by my brothers. My life was consumed with loved ones. I never really had. I had problems as a child, some problems that I didn't understand, but for the most part, I would definitely say I had a good childhood. It wasn't really the things that affected me in my childhood affects me more now than it did as a child, because I was so young. And as I said before, I was blinded by a lot of things as a child. I more so was around loved ones. So it wasn't everything I went through. Even sometimes now I say as a child, maybe I didn't have emotional support, but my emotional support doesn't mean being around loved ones all the time. And that I had emotional support by being around loved ones. But now that I'm older and I know that's not what emotional support looks like to me.
What does emotional support look like to you?
Expression, feedback on my thoughts and what I'm feeling, understanding, and accepting my emotions. Because sometimes adults or someone you lean on, they interpret your emotions into their own, and they don't always stop and think, no, this is your moment, this is what you're feeling, it's not about me right now. Or, well, for me, it's just hearing me out. It's just hearing me out, because I could be around a loved one and feel so happy around them, but in the inside, it's still a lot going on. So for me, it's just hearing my thoughts, someone hearing my thoughts and helping me understand. And sometimes it's just listening. It's no response. It's just, I need you to listen right now. So, yeah.
How much of your childhood impacts where you are today?
Majority of my childhood impacts where I am today.
Why would you say that?
I often find myself reliving a lot of moments from my childhood. So I would say that's a way it impacts me. Some of my childhood pushes me to do better. Some of my childhood drags me down and makes me not want to do nothing. So
the things that you have identified in your childhood that has had an impact on you, right? Could you give us examples of those things? When I was a child, because of this, today I am now what?
When I was a child, I lived in an environment that wasn't really safe. Mm-hmm. Because of this, now I'm very intuitive within my surroundings instead of what's important to get me where I need to be. So school is not always easy for me because my environment has triggered anxiety, and sometimes when I'm in a certain place or in a certain environment, I can't always function in that environment. I'm functioning off the environment I'm used to in my childhood.
So how are you overcoming those things? So someone's going to be listening to this. They're going to, listen to your story. If you had to tell someone who can identify with what you're saying now, how to overcome and not let those things impact, what would you tell them to do?
I would tell them to live now and not from the past. It's harder than it sounds, but every day you have to just remind yourself that, again, you're not in control of the unknown, and you have to just be in control of what you can be in control of and live now. Live in your environment now, in your atmosphere now. And that doesn't always mean environment as where you live. that just means wherever you are, period. So
you talked about the problems that you had to face as a young person. What are some of those problems that you had to face?
Some problems that I had to face as a young child is not having a father, and it has affected me for a very, very long time. Even now today, it just hits different because I'm old enough to not allow my emotions to control me, because feelings, they come and go. Sometimes, you ever felt happy and then you just thought about something and got mad? It's because you're just letting your feelings control you. So now I control my feelings when it comes to not having a father, but it definitely has affected me for a long period of time in many different ways. Sometimes you just feel lost, you feel like something's missing, you feel abandoned. Why doesn't this person want to be around me? And you're here physically, but you're not here with me. So not having a father has definitely affected me. Also, growing up with male figures, it's a little weird because I didn't have a father, but I still had male support, but it's different. And I say that because it affected me in a good way and a bad way. I have these male figures in my life, but it's not who I want, such as a father. Now, it also affected me in a way where mentally I think in a different way. I feel in a different way. And that can be overwhelming as a female, and that can also be a good thing.
What 3 things has impacted you the most that literally changed the way you were living your life?
Losing my grandmother has definitely shook me and shifted me as a child because I was young. And also, again, not having a father. And not having has definitely impacted me.
Yes. What do you mean when you say not having?
When I was younger, my mom, she made enough just for what we needed. And what we needed wasn't always what we wanted. And you just have enough just to get you by, you know? And at that point in my life, a lot of the kids were considered fly. They had it all. Their parents got money. And it always made me feel less than, because I wanted to have just as much as the next person. And now it has influenced me in a different way. I interpret it in a different way now in my life today. Now I want to work for it myself. I don't want my mom to have to give me those things, because reality is I had what I needed, but it just wasn't a lot.
So the 3 things that you mentioned about your main challenges that kind of like changed the course of your life. You talked about your not having your dad and the loss of your grandmother, and not having all the things that you felt like you needed growing up because of financial constraints, right? How are you overcoming that? And how are you moving past that and not letting those things define you? What are you doing to make sure you get to that next level?
The moving forward process is an everyday thing for me. Moving forward, the first step is waking up. And when I wake up in the morning, first I thank God for waking me up in the morning and giving me another chance at life. Because not everybody wakes up in the morning. Some people don't even know what morning is anymore. So first I appreciate the unknown. And moving forward and not letting my past consume me, you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with life around you every day, because life every day is going to bring you something new, and every day is going to be your past. Tomorrow will be your future, and then when tomorrow's over, it's going to be the past because it happened yesterday. So moving forward for me, was telling myself that the situation you are in now is not forever. It's only forever if you let it be forever. And for a long time, I didn't even understand what that meant to myself, because I just felt stuck. I felt like forever was forever in those moments. And I first started by getting a job. And once I started making my own money and occupying myself with money, I started to feel better, because if I'm broke, it's because I choose to be. But I know that it's not because I just don't have an opportunity of not having it. It's because I chose to be broke. So getting a job has definitely helped me move forward as far as not having, because it's now my choice. Now it's something that I am in control of. So I would definitely say taking control over your life again. And that may mean many different things for many different people. That can mean not always allowing yourself to be upset. That can mean finding other things to make you happy. And that can be hard. So I would just say be patient with yourself and take it one step at a time, one day at a time. And just remember that you gotta live in the moment, because you never know when your moment is up.
So if you had to go back and talk to your younger self, what would you tell the younger Zoe?
Stop crying. I cried a lot as a young kid. I was very sensitive, and I still am. I would tell myself to stop crying for a fact, because all I did was cry all the time. Everything, I was a crybaby. That's what my siblings called me. She always cries. She a crybaby. I was a crybaby. And anyways, I would tell myself to stop crying. I would tell myself that better days are coming. Tomorrow is coming. I would tell myself that I'm not alone. And I would definitely tell myself to embrace what you have now. I feel like sometimes we forget. We are so consumed with the hurt that we don't realize the importance. Because if you think about it, most of your hurt is the past. And most of your hurt is things you have no control over anymore. Why is it still hurting you? Because you're human. And that's okay. But I would definitely tell myself to realize what you have. Because we are so in the midst of what we don't have or what we used to have. But what about what you have now? So I would definitely tell myself that. And I would also tell myself to don't be afraid to have somebody to lean on. As a young child, I was very confused. Like I said, I seen a lot at a young age. And when you see your parent working hard, going through a lot, you don't really, for me, it caused me to think as an adult, as a young person. So it's like, oh, I'm not going to even talk to mom right now, or I'm not going to ask for this, or I'm not going to say this because she got this going on. So I would definitely say, remember that you are still a child, and you don't have to be consumed with things that you shouldn't be consumed with as a child. I would tell myself that. Remember that you're a child, because I feel like I grew up pretty fast because I couldn't be a child. And yeah, I would tell myself that stay a child.
Because you felt like you grew up fast, do you feel like you missed out on things?
Yes.
What are some of the things that you wish you could have done if you did not have to grow up so fast?
I wish I could have played more outside. I couldn't really go outside all the time because it wasn't safe. So it's like,
how does that make you feel?
Sad. Because even now, it's like you never know what's going to happen. You always got to think about being safe. And reality is that's anywhere. But when you live in a neighborhood with a lot of violence, a lot of trappers, they just everywhere. All you see is drugs, smoke, this gambling, dice games. It's just a lot to see. It's too much. And it's like, dang, I can't even go outside because you already know they're going to be shooting tonight. Like, it's just too much. Like, only time you have is at school. And then if one of the kids mess up recess for everybody, it's just like, now I can't even play. I got to go home and go in the house. Like, I just wish I could have had more time to play and express myself in different ways as a child. I don't really remember doing a lot of that as a child.
This has been part 1 of Zoe's story. Stay tuned for parts 2 and 3 coming soon. The I.A.M movement is on the move. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube for the latest videos, posts, and updates. On Instagram at the_I_am_movement_SNW. On Facebook at the I.A.M movement SNW. And on YouTube at the I.A.M movement. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and like, and even hit the love button. Comment. Start the conversation.